Alright, chances are that since you stumbled across this video, you might be thinking about buying this. This is the Sony ZV-E1, and if you're there hanging on the edge about should I buy it, watch this video first because I got some stuff that you may not like or find from any other video. Let's go. Alright, first things first, the disclaimer. This video is not sponsored by Sony. However, I got this camera as a loaner to test it out from Sony, but they're not expecting me to make a video about it. They're not expecting me to put out any good words about this camera or anything else. Alright, it is my last day with the Sony ZV-E1 and I have been shooting with this for, I don't know, month and a half, something like that. Can't even remember at this point. And I've been using this to take photos, of course, since it's a camera, and to make content, vertical videos and horizontal videos, and pretty much everything that comes with content creation. And today I'm gonna share with you my findings and my experiences using this camera for this amount of time that I've had it. And unfortunately, the experience was not that positive as I would have expected. First up, we need to talk about the battery life. I don't know what is going on inside this camera because it feels like it eats a whole lot of battery. Sony promises that this camera delivers 90 minutes of 4K video with one charge, but in reality, it's more like closer to maybe 60 or 70 minutes. And outside here in Finland, it's winter now, the reality is more closer to maybe 40 or 45 minutes of 4K shooting with one fully charged battery. I'm not too sure about the battery life because I charged this fully and I started with 100% at the beginning of the day, and now I'm already at 37% or something like that, so it has eaten a lot of juice. It's like 12 o'clock right now, so I don't know, something is going on. I experienced this many times as I was shooting outside, and it was not even that cold. It was like maybe -5 to -10 or something like that, and yeah, the battery just died almost instantly. A couple of days ago when I took this out, when the weather was, insane, like -30 degrees, and it did not last for 10 minutes in those sub-zero temperatures, and my Canon EOS R7 just kept on shooting like the weather was nothing to it. So the battery life is one of my biggest concerns with this camera. Even if you can charge this with the USB-C cable and a battery pack, still, yeah, I don't want to be carrying that stuff around just because the battery life on this thing is so poor. All right, the second thing that I am concerned about this camera also is temperature related. It is the build quality. I mentioned this in my previous video also, and I still think that this plastic here it's just way too flimsy for Finnish winter. It is way too flimsy for basically all kinds of use, and I'm constantly scared that I will just bang this into something and break it while I am using it. So yeah, this cheap plastic, yeah, not a huge fan of it. Of course, with this lightweight plastic, you win on the weight side, but I'd rather have some extra weight on my camera than be afraid of breaking it all the time. And also these little hatches here that cover the ports, these are very flimsy plastic, and whenever I'm using my external microphone with this and I have to plug it in, I'm constantly worried that this thing falls off or takes a hit and I lose it forever or just break it. That's how flimsy and cheap these feel. And at this point you might be wondering that how do I normally use my gear? That do I abuse it, like use it as a hammer or something if I'm constantly worried about it? No, I don't. I don't use my stuff as a hammer, but to me they're tools, and to me my tools have to be such things that I don't have to be scared for all these nitsy-bitsy little parts falling off and breaking. Alright, the third thing that everybody has been talking really high about is the internal microphone. I made some tests comparing the internal microphone of this camera to the $50 Rode VideoMic Go, and I let you guys decide which one sounds better.
One thing that I find interesting when people are talking about this camera is that they praise the in-camera microphone, that it is the best microphone that they have used, which is in the camera. Well, when I tested it, it sounded like total crap. Right now I'm using my Rode microphone on top of it and the audio sounds like this, but just wait until I switch into that in-camera microphone with that little windscreen. I can show it to you with this. I'm gonna switch it and I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, now I have this right here in my hand, and this is the in-camera microphone, and I don't think that this sounds anywhere near as good as it would sound when using one of these, you know, a $50 microphone. Oh man, I took the wrong bus. Now I have to walk home. Like I said, I do understand why people call this the ultimate vlogging camera.
Yeah, you can get by with it, but you can get by with basically any audio. But when you're creating content, when you're making video, you just don't want to get by with the audio, because audio is one of the most important things when it comes to making videos. So even though it has the AI features that it recognizes that which way is the audio coming from, that is it coming from behind the camera or from in front of the camera, it's still not good. Everybody keeps talking about it like it's the best possible thing on this camera. That is, the audio quality is so good, and it's not. This $50 microphone makes better quality audio than, you know, this. Obviously. And I just don't understand why people are talking so high about this internal microphone, because it's not good. Next up, the issue that you might have heard about before: overheating. When I tested this camera as a webcam, I was able to get this thing to overheat like super fast. It lasted for about 20 minutes, and then the overheating signal started blinking, and it kept on blinking, and then I had to turn this camera off because I was afraid to break it. But just keep that in mind, because for me, overheating when using this for streaming, that would be a deal breaker. Alright, it's time for the one last thing that bugs the hell out of me about this camera, and that is the lack of control rings. With my Canon EOS R7 and even with the Sony A7Siii that I tested, I have multiple control rings all across the camera that I can customize to use however I want. However, on the Sony ZV-E1, there is only 2 of them. One here at the top on the corner and one here at the back. Of course, we got the zoom button right here in front, but to me, this button actually causes just more discomfort than actual use, because when I take this camera into my hand and I want to vlog with one hand, I keep accidentally pressing and pushing the button all the time and zooming in and zooming out. When I'm vlogging, I want the focal length to stay at 16, and I can control the focal length here from the side with this lens, but I accidentally all the time kept on pushing that button, and then the image was bad, and no. I just did not like this one right here at all, not one bit. Sony ZV-E1 Mark II, could you add a dial here, please? And another dial here, maybe? Would it be possible? Thank you. All right, I think I'm done. There was a lot of bashing. There are a lot of downsides about this camera. Maybe the ZV-E Mark II, when it comes out, maybe that will have those improvements that I'm hoping for. A little bit more durable body, a little bit more, you know, robust feeling, this kind of, so that I'm not afraid to carry this with me wherever I go. But overall, it is a good camera if you're creating content on the go and you want the stuff out there fast. But for me, it did not find a place in my heart. And therefore, it's going back to Sony, like today. Actually, I gotta get going and return it. So, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, do whatever you want. Go buy this if you need it. Ha! See you guys in the next one. Peace.